Tonight we step quietly into a world where silence speaks louder than words, where a simple bow, a measured sip, and a glance across the room hold centuries of meaning. You find yourself at the entrance of traditional Japanese tea house, a place where time slows down and etiquette reigns supreme. The scent of freshly ground matcha lingers in the air as you remove your shoes, feeling the smooth tatami mat beneath your feet. This isn't just a gathering. It's an unspoken dance of precision, grace, and quiet reverence. The tea master awaits, but before the first sip is taken, you must master the art of presence. Every step forward must be deliberate. Every movement must acknowledge the centuries of tradition woven into these walls. Outside, the world is chaotic, buzzing with conversation and speed. But in here, the hush is palpable. You lower yourself onto the floor, instinctively mirroring the posture of the others. No words are spoken, just a respectful nod between participants who understand that communication is more than just speech. The tea master makes no grand introductions. His movements flow seamlessly, each gesture refined through years of practice. The flickering candlelight casts soft shadows over the delicate utensils laid out before you. There's a hierarchy to these objects, a significance invisible to the untrained eye. The ceramic bowl, the bamboo whisk, the silk cloth, all silent players in this intricate ritual. You are not here just to drink tea. You are here to witness and honor an art form that transcends mere refreshment. Historians still argue whether the tea ceremony was born out of necessity or pure reverence for beauty. What is certain, however, is that this tradition has endured, adapting yet never losing its core, a quiet appreciation for simplicity, mindfulness, and the delicate balance between host and guest. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You shift slightly, feeling the tatami mat beneath you, its woven surface rough yet comforting. The tea master moves with a quiet grace, lifting the lacquered tea caddy with both hands, as if it carries something sacred. And in a way, it does. You're not just witnessing a beverage being made. You're watching a ritual passed down through generations. The origins of the tea ceremony stretch back centuries, tracing their roots to China before being refined in Japan. At first, tea was simply a medicinal drink, a concoction meant to invigorate the body and sharpen the mind. But over time, it became something more, an act of devotion, a moment of reflection, a bridge between the earthly and the spiritual. Zen monks were among the first to recognize its significance. To them, preparing and drinking tea was a form of meditation, a way to cultivate mindfulness with every measured gesture. As you watch the tea master work, you realize that every movement has meaning. The way he scoops the powdered matcha with a bamboo spoon, the deliberate swirl of hot water as it meets the green dust, all of it speaks to a philosophy of intentionality. Nothing is rushed, nothing is wasted. The tea ceremony isn't about indulgence or luxury. It's about presence. Historians still debate whether the first Japanese tea gatherings were exclusive affairs reserved for the elite or communal events open to all. What is clear, however, is that by the time of Sun no Rikyu, the legendary tea master who shaped the practice we know today, the ceremony had become an art form. Simplicity was revered. Extravagance was stripped away. The humble tea room, often no bigger than 4.5 tatami mats, became a stage for human connection. You watch as the tea master pours the first stream of hot water into the bowl, whisking the powder until a rich foam forms. The rhythmic motion is mesmerizing, steady yet precise. He works not with urgency but with reverence, as though honoring every leaf that was ground into this fine green powder. A silence falls over the room, not uncomfortable, but expectant. Soon, the first sip will be taken, but not yet. For now, the tea is not just a drink. It is a lesson, a meditation, a reminder that the simplest things in life can hold the deepest meaning. The tea master's hands move with deliberate precision, each gesture refined by years of practice. He lifts the tea bowl carefully, turning it slightly before placing it in front of you. This is more than hospitality. It's a silent invitation to partake in something centuries old, something sacred. Your pulse quickens slightly. You've read about this, heard whispers of its importance. But now, with the warm ceramic resting before you, it's clear that this moment carries weight. The tea master watches, his gaze steady yet unobtrusive. He is not here to judge, only to ensure that tradition is honored. The role of the tea master is one of quiet authority. Unlike the loud proclamations of Western hosts, he does not announce, explain, or instruct. His presence is guidance enough. Every movement, from the way he folds his sleeve before lifting the tea scoop to the precise angle of his bow, conveys meaning. Historians still debate whether the first tea masters were primarily religious figures or artisans devoted solely to aesthetics. Some argue that Zen monks brought tea culture to Japan with meditative intentions, crafting ceremonies to cultivate mindfulness. Others suggest that the practice evolved under noble patronage, transforming into a refined performance where every detail was choreographed for visual harmony. Regardless of its origins, the tea master holds immense responsibility. He does not merely prepare tea. He orchestrates an experience. He sets the tone, selects the tools, and adjusts the pacing, ensuring that each moment unfolds seamlessly. A misstep in his actions could disrupt the flow. A misplaced tool, an uneven pour, small errors, but ones that trained guests would notice. You watch as his fingers brush against the rim of the tea bowl, inspecting it with an almost reverent touch. Then, with a single measured motion, he turns it again, presenting it in a way that acknowledges both its beauty and the guest's role in receiving it. For the first time, he speaks, not loudly, not dramatically, just a few quiet words, offering the tea with humility rather than authority. And with that, the ritual continues. The silence in the tea room feels different now. Not empty, not awkward, just filled with quiet understanding. You glance around, noting how each guest sits with perfect posture, hands resting gently on their lap. You do the same, mirroring the unspoken rules of arrival. Before tea is even served, before the first sip is taken, there's a ritual of respect to observe. You step carefully, ensuring that your movements align with the serene atmosphere. Your entrance mattered. The way you slid the door open, how you stepped forward without rushing, how you acknowledge the tea master with a precise bow. Nothing in this space is accidental. Historians still argue whether the strictness of arrival etiquette was rooted in spirituality or mere social hierarchy. Some claim that the rules were designed to humble the guests, to strip away distractions and allow them to enter the moment fully. Others suggest that these gestures reinforce status, reminding participants that tea gatherings were never just casual affairs. Regardless of the intention, every guest was expected to follow these customs. Your posture, your pace, even the way you fold your hands before sitting. Each movement communicates your understanding of the ceremony's importance. This isn't a place to fidget or slump back casually. Every shift in position must be graceful, deliberate. The tea master watches, not with judgment, but with quiet attentiveness. He has hosted countless gatherings, seen novices struggle to match the precision of seasoned attendees. Yet even a first-timer is welcome, as long as they show the effort to respect the flow of the ceremony. You settle into place, letting your breathing slow, adjusting to the rhythm of the room. Tea will soon be served. But the ceremony has already begun. You glance down at your attire, wondering, have you dressed appropriately for the occasion? It's not just about looking presentable. In a traditional tea ceremony, clothing carries meaning. The colors, the fabrics, even the way a kimono is tied can signal respect. Or ignorance. The tea master notices everything, though he never comments. In Japan's ancient tea gatherings, guests were expected to dress with quiet elegance, in harmony with the atmosphere. The choice of kimono or formal wear was not random. It reflected the season, the type of ceremony, and even the personality of the host. Bright, loud patterns were considered distracting, while subdued, earthy tones symbolized humility. Historians still debate whether these clothing rules were strict codes or simply evolving traditions. Some suggest that tea gatherings once allowed greater flexibility, with attire dictated more by class than by ceremony. Others argue that by the time of Sunno Rikyu, every detail, from sleeve length to embroidery on a sash, had a deliberate purpose. You notice the subdued hues worn by the guests, muted greens, soft grays, and gentle whites, all blending seamlessly into quiet ambience of the tea room. Even accessories must be minimal. A gaudy ring, a heavy bracelet. They don't belong here. Elegance is simplicity, and in this space, simplicity is revered. You adjust your posture again, subtly ensuring your sleeves don't drape too far over the tatami. Nothing must interfere with the ritual. Even before the tea is served, the ceremony has already shaped you. Your movements, your awareness, your understanding of the unspoken. You lower your gaze, feeling the weight of tradition settle over the room. Unlike Western gatherings, where greetings are exchanged with handshakes and bright smiles, here, everything is subdued. The silent exchange of greetings is an art form, practiced for centuries, perfected in its simplicity. A slight nod, a measured bow, nothing more. No hurried pleasantries, no introductions beyond the quiet acknowledgement of presence. You follow suit, bowing just enough, not too deep, not too shallow. It's a delicate balance, and even this small gesture carries meaning. Historians still debate whether the absence of verbal greetings in tea ceremonies stemmed from Zen principles or social hierarchy. Some argue that silence was a way to clear the mind, allowing participants to be fully present. Others believe it was a matter of refinement, that too many words would tarnish the purity of the gathering. Whatever the reason, you notice how communication in this space is entirely nonverbal. A guest shifts slightly, indicating readiness. The tea master responds with a glance, signaling the next step. Every interaction is subtle, yet intentional. You resist the urge to fill the silence with words. You let it settle, let it guide you. Here, conversation exists beyond speech. Your fingers hover over the tea bowl, hesitant. You've seen the ritual unfold. Witness the quiet precision of the tea master's movements. But now it's your turn. The weight of centuries of tradition rests in your grip. The tea bowl is not just a container. It is an extension of the ceremony itself. The way you lift it, the angle at which you turn it, even the manner in which you take your first sip. Each action carries meaning. You must respect the bowl. You must acknowledge its craftsmanship. And above all, you must handle it with care, as if honoring those who prepared the tea before you. Historians still argue over the exact origins of these bowl-handling customs. Some believe they were dictated by Zen monks, shaped by meditative practice. Others claim that the etiquette evolved through nobility, where precise gestures signified refinement and education. Whatever the case, one thing is certain. There is no casual sipping here. You cradle the bowl in both hands, feeling the warmth seep through the ceramic. You turn it slightly before raising it to your lips, an act of humility, a silent acknowledgement that this offering was carefully prepared. The first sip is small, deliberate. You do not gulp, you do not rush. You taste not just the tea, but the history infused within it. There is an art to everything in this space, including how you set the bowl back down. Slowly, gently, ensuring it does not clatter against the tatami. The tea master gives a single approving nod. You have honored the ritual. You glance down at the tea utensils, each one carefully placed, each one holding significance far beyond its simple function. A bamboo scoop rests atop the ceramic tea caddy. The whisk, delicate yet sturdy, sits nearby, waiting for its purpose. These objects are more than tools. They are symbols, woven into the ritual with quiet reverence. The tea master moves with precision, selecting each utensil with care. Nothing is accidental. The placement, the handling, even the order in which they are introduced, all follow an unspoken hierarchy. The tea bowl, considered the heart of the ceremony, is always treated with the utmost respect. Even the way it is rotated before being passed holds meaning, acknowledging both the craftsmanship and the guest receiving it. Historians still argue whether the specific placement of utensils was purely aesthetic or deeply spiritual. Some claim that each item was arranged to create visual harmony, blending seamlessly into the tea room's subdued decor. Others suggest that the order of handling reflected Zen ideals, intentionality, mindfulness, a deep awareness of every. You watch as the tea master picks up the whisk, spinning it gently in his palm. He does not rush, does not tighten his grip unnecessarily. This instrument, though simple in design, carries centuries of knowledge within its delicate tines. A single misplaced stroke could disrupt the foam, altering the texture of the matcha. Everything in the tea ceremony exists within a quiet balance. The utensils are not just objects, They are part of the experience, guiding each movement, shaping each sip. You begin to understand why even the smallest details matter. The tea master pauses, adjusting the arrangement of the tea utensils with practiced ease. But tonight's ceremony is different. Something about the air, the mood, even the way the tatami creaks beneath shifting knees. It is the season, shaping the gathering in ways both subtle and profound. The Japanese tea ceremony was never static. It breathed with the rhythm of the changing world, adapting to the seasons like a living art form. The summer tea gatherings, airy and light, embraced cool ceramics and delicate fans to counter the heat. Winter brought deeper, richer flavors. The tea bowls cradled with both hands for warmth. Autumn called for earthy tones, for gatherings that emphasize reflection. And spring. Spring was renewal, a soft return of brightness after the chill. Historians still argue whether seasonal influences dictated tea selection first, or if aesthetic considerations led the way. Was matcha chosen for its cooling effect in summer? Or did the tea master simply align the mood of the ceremony with nature? Tonight, the selection of tools and the arrangement of the room whisper hints of the current season. The tea master's choice of utensils, the way he shifts his sleeve before preparing the first bowl, all pays quiet tribute to the world outside. And though the tea room feels timeless, it is never disconnected from time itself. The tea room holds its hush, yet the quiet is anything but empty. You feel it, an atmosphere thick with intent, where silence carries more weight than words ever could. Unlike in everyday life, where conversations flow effortlessly, here, speech is a deliberate act. No idle chatter. No casual remarks about the weather. Every word spoken in this space must serve a purpose, must add to the moment rather than distract from it. It's not just about restraint. It's about respect. The tea ceremony is a shared meditation, and silence is a thread binding it all together. Historians still debate whether the emphasis on silence was purely spiritual or also a matter of social refinement. Some argue that Zen philosophy shaped the practice, encouraging guests to remain present in the ritual rather than letting their minds wander through words. Others suggest that silence reinforced hierarchy. After all, to speak out of turn in certain tea gatherings was considered a breach of etiquette. Regardless of the origin, you find yourself adjusting. You listen more. You notice the sound of tea being whisked, the subtle shift of fabric as a guest repositions, the faint crackle of incense in the corner. It's remarkable how much communication happens without speaking. The tea master breaks the silence only briefly, offering the first bowl with a single, measured phrase. And yet, even his voice feels like part of the ritual. Soft, unhurried, blending seamlessly into the stillness of space. You glance at the small plate set before you, a delicate confection, artfully crafted, waiting to be tasted. Though the tea is the heart of the ceremony, food plays an essential supporting role. Sweetness balances bitterness. Texture complements liquid. The pairing is intentional, refined over centuries. Japanese tea gatherings were never about indulgence. They were about harmony. The light wagashi sweets served before tea were carefully designed to prime the palate, preparing guests for the rich umami depth of matcha. Each bite was small, each flavor gentle, ensuring that nothing overwhelmed the senses. Historians still debate whether tea pairings originated purely from taste, or they carried deeper symbolic meaning. Some argue that sweets were introduced simply to counteract matcha's intensity, creating a pleasurable contrast. Others believe that certain ingredients reflected the season, mood, or even philosophical teachings embedded in the ceremony. As you lift a small confection, you notice its artistry, the faint imprint of a leaf, the subtle dusting of fine sugar. You take a bite, the delicate sweetness lingering just long enough before fading. It's not just food, it's part of the ritual, another layer of appreciation woven into the experience. The tea master waits. The next bowl of matcha is prepared. The balance is maintained. You shift slightly, mindful of your placement. Where you sit in the tea room is not random. It carries meaning. Proximity to the tea master, position in relation to other guests, even the timing of when you receive your bowl. All of it reflects an unspoken hierarchy. This isn't about status in the traditional sense. It's about experience, about understanding the flow of the ceremony. The most senior guest, the asterisk Shokyaku, sits closest to Tea Master, playing a subtle yet crucial role. They signal when the ritual begins, they set the tone, and their interactions guide the other guests. Meanwhile, the Jikyaku, or second guest, follows their lead, reinforcing the rhythm of the ceremony. Historians still debate whether this hierarchy was rigid or fluid. Some believe the structure was strictly maintained, ensuring that only seasoned participants took key positions. Others argue that tea gatherings were more flexible, with hierarchy serving as a guideline rather than a rule. Regardless, you are aware of your role. You observe, you adapt. No one announces your rank, but you feel it through the timing of your tea service, the expectation that you follow rather than lead. Every position in the tea room shapes the experience, weaving a delicate balance between order and spontaneity. The tea master continues, unruffled by the silent dynamics at play. The ceremony flows forward, uninterrupted. You notice a shift in pace. The ceremony is nearing its conclusion, yet there is still one essential step left. Before leaving, guests are expected to reflect, to honor the moment before returning to the outside world. This is not just a casual farewell. It is an act of appreciation. The tea room is silent, save for the faint rustling of fabric as each guest subtly readjusts their posture. There is no rushing, no abrupt departure. Instead, eyes linger on the tools, the tea bowl, the whisk, the bamboo scoop, as if committing their presence to memory. Historians still debate whether this final pause was purely aesthetic or deeply philosophical. Some argue that it was meant to reinforce mindfulness, ensuring that guests truly absorb the experience before stepping away. Others suggest it was a way to recognize the host's effort, a silent gesture of gratitude for precision and care poured into the ceremony. You follow suit, taking one last moment to appreciate the delicate balance of tradition, art, and intent woven into this gathering. Then, slowly, gracefully, you rise, one final bow to acknowledge the space before stepping back into the modern world. You followed each step of the ceremony with care, moved through its quiet traditions with a measured pace. But even in this world of meticulous grace, mistakes can happen. Some subtle, forgivable, a misplaced gesture, a slightly rushed sip. Others, more disruptive, pulling the gathering out of its tranquil balance. There were unwritten rules, things never spoken aloud but understood by all seasoned guests. One did not handle utensils carelessly, nor speak at an inappropriate time. Folding a silk cloth improperly or sipping too loudly were small errors, but enough to be noticed. The greatest breach, however, was breaking the rhythm of the ceremony, interrupting the flow with unnecessary gestures, or failing to show respect to the tea master and the space itself. Historians still debate whether these rituals were enforced strictly or with quiet leniency. Some argue that in high-status gatherings, violations could mean exclusion from future ceremonies. Others suggest that a host's duty was also to guide, ensuring newcomers understood their role without public correction. You move carefully, aware now of the delicate harmony at play. The tea master continues, his movements unbroken. In this ritual, awareness is everything. The final moments of the ceremony unfold in quiet grace. You feel it, the gentle unwinding, the slow descent into stillness. There is no grand conclusion, no applause or formal farewell. Instead, the tea master moves with measured precision, clearing the tools with deliberate care. This is a moment not to rush but to savor. The warmth of the tea lingers in your chest, the rhythmic gestures still echoing in your mind. Every element of the gathering, from the first bow to the final sip, has been woven together in seamless harmony. It is a ritual of presence, of understanding, of honoring the simplest yet most profound aspects of tradition. Historians still argue whether the tea ceremony's lasting impact is due to its artistry or its philosophy. Was it merely an elegant social custom, or did it transcend into something greater? Something deeply woven into the essence of Japanese culture? Regardless, you feel the weight of its legacy as you prepare to leave. The guests rise one by one, offering a final bow in silence, stepping back into the world beyond the tatami. But even as you cross the threshold, something stays with you. A quiet appreciation, an awareness of the beauty and simplicity, a connection to a tradition that has survived centuries. As the door slides shut behind you, The hush of the tea house lingers, a whisper of something timeless. The night is settling, the tea ceremony fading into quiet memory. You let its rhythm linger, slowing your breathing, allowing the calm to fully take hold. Each measured movement, each deliberate pause, it all feels distant now, yet still present, like echoes in the dim candlelight. The world outside is waiting, but it does not need to rush you. Tonight, you rest in the stillness, in the quiet wisdom of old traditions. Now close your eyes. Let the hum of the night surround you. Sleep well and dream gently, in silence, stepping back into the world beyond the tatami. But even as you cross the threshold, something stays with you, a quiet appreciation, an awareness of the beauty and simplicity, a connection to a tradition that has survived centuries. As the door slides shut behind you, the hush of the tea house lingers, a whisper of something timeless. The night is settling, the tea ceremony fading into quiet memory. You let its rhythm linger, slowing your breathing, allowing the calm to fully take hold. Each measured movement, each deliberate pause, it all feels distant now, yet still present, like echoes in the dim candlelight. The world outside is waiting, but it does not need to rush you. Tonight, you rest in the stillness, in the quiet wisdom of old traditions. Now close your eyes. Let the hum of the night surround you. Sleep well and dream gently. Am